is steering at his brother now.
Round number 10 brings us over to the home of Formula 1. It is the British Grand Prix here at Silverstone, and there's been a lot of news that has really been breaking out over the past few days. So let's dive straight into it and see what has been said. We're going to start it, well, pretty much all of the news is coming out of McLaren, and a big story that's now developing over on this side of the paddock. It's been a very quiet season for McLaren in terms of stories and headlines, with both Sam and Tom just cracking on. But it looks like that has now completely changed. So let's start it off then. McLaren boss Zak Brown has backed the sponsor deal that McLaren made with Vodafone. Now, in the last time around in Germany, McLaren announced that they had brought in a brand new 2-year deal with Vodafone to continue their sponsorship. Vodafone entered back into Formula 1 with McLaren last season, and we saw the grey and red livery return once again. Depending on the McLaren's performances, that would be whether Vodafone continued to sponsor the team, and in which, obviously, with them claiming the World Drivers' Championship and the Constructors' Championship, it was a no-brainer for them to go ahead and take the extra deal. So into this season we go, and we've got the deal. There is now, once again, we've got a black and red Vodafone McLaren. Now, Vodafone went ahead and did a 2-year deal with McLaren to go ahead and continue their partnership. But Vodafone asked for something in the deal, in which McLaren didn't tell any of their team members, but accepted nonetheless. And that is that Vodafone network is to be used for every single McLaren F1 employee, whether they like it or not. Now, some drivers and some team members have been arguing against this because it goes against, their own policy. They would never had to do this before. The phone network doesn't work in their area, and the phone network is actually more expensive than the current network that they're on with a different mobile phone company. But Vodafone won't stand for this. And Zak Brown has backed that new sponsor deal, saying, look, we've signed this deal. This is the contract. You guys need to apply for it. We are a team. This is what we're doing. Vodafone are sponsoring us, so we're going to go ahead and use their mobile networks and promote it. Sam has stated that he's refusing to change network after he was confronted by key personnel from Vodafone telling him he has to change his mobile network. And Sam now has taken this matter much further forward after being confronted. He has stated that he's on the verge of walking out of McLaren with Tom. Now, this is where it gets very, very interesting for McLaren and a dire situation. McLaren wanted 2 world champions in their car, and they got it with Sam and Tom. To make sure that none of them left just out of the ordinary and, mix things up, they put a clause in both of their contracts which they agreed that if one of those drivers is to leave McLaren on bad terms, both drivers will leave the team. And this is where McLaren now have massive, massive issues. At the moment, if Sam is to leave the team, it's on bad terms. Of course, he has to agree with Tom that they are to leave together, but it is going to be on bad terms, which does mean as part of the clause of the contract, Sam and Tom can walk out of that team and they will lose both world champions that they worked hard to keep in their team. Now, this is massive, massive stuff for us, and now we're going to change it over to the transfer centre. The transfer centre returns now for the rest of the season, and the question is, of course, where is Tom and Sam going to go if they walk away from McLaren? Of course, 2 major drivers could well be on the market, and with all the teams now hearing about this, they're getting very interested in potentially claiming a couple of contracts here and there. Reese has now officially confirmed that Jaguar have contacted him with regards to a drive for the team. Hulkenberg is no longer going to be at Jaguar next season after his outspurt on social media towards Jaguar employees, saying that they were lazy and terrible at their work. Reese has confirmed that Jaguar have called him with an offer for the drive. Reese has currently at the moment kept that offer on standby. He hasn't rejected it, hasn't accepted it, but it's still on standby, clearly on his agenda. Daniel Ricciardo has finally decided he will leave Renault at the end of the season. Of course, Ricciardo was out of contract at the end of the season anyway, and Ricciardo has decided enough is enough. He doesn't want to be with Renault anymore. He can't see the progress there and has decided to move onwards. And teams are in a fight to sign Valtteri Bottas after what's been such a strong season for him so far. Bottas had a very rough season with Audi, which nearly lost him a drive because he couldn't find one, but luckily Williams came along and Bottas has got his head down and he has gone ahead and put in some sensational performances, and he's now on the highlights of many of the teams. So it's about which teams really want to sign him. And then finally, we're going to have a look at the race news then and see what's been going on in the paddock with regards to on-track action. And the track shock has come from Audi, with their pace being absolutely rapid on Friday, especially on one-lap pace on the soft tyres. They really got the car hooked up around here with some big upgrades on that car, and it's proving to really work in their favour. Tom on Friday was having a lot of issues with the balance of his car, especially on the rear. Tom says that he believes that's been fixed now in FP2. He said in FP1 the car was just not working for him, but he made some setup changes in FP2 and now it's working for him. McLaren and Mercedes still think that they can beat the flying Audis despite their performances that they put on Friday. And then Ferrari have added some new pieces to the floor and also their rear wings. They continue their development path to get back up to the top of the table where they haven't been missing for so long. But with all of that being said and done, let's get straight down to business. It's time for round number 10, the British Grand Prix. Yo, what's going on, guys? It is Fox98 here. Welcome back to a brand new episode of the F1 Journey for you guys today here on the channel. Today we're here for round number 10 of the season for the British Grand Prix, and we're looking to bounce back after last week. If you haven't checked out last episode, be sure to go check that one out before you go ahead and check this one. You can either go ahead and click onto my channel, or you can go ahead and there is a playlist of every single F1 Journey episode. You can go and check that one out to see the future of Nico Hülkenberg in Formula 1 and also our race. But we get off to a disastrous start here in qualifying with a crash there to start things off. It's the same format as what we did at the German Grand Prix. We just got caught on the grass and it was a lot bumpier on the exit there, and our car got unsettled, and again it was on the outlap, and we've crashed out, which does mean we are not going to be able to sell a lap time in this session. Another disastrous start to things. So as we look at the grid then, well, it was a shock actually, because it's an all Audi front row lockout with Devon Butler on pole position ahead of George Russell. Reece qualified in P3 ahead of Sam then, who qualifies in P4 for McLaren. Lewis Hamilton qualifies 5th ahead of Noah James then in the Ferrari in P6. 7th is Charles Leclerc, and Valtteri Bottas with a brilliant qualifying session in P8 for Williams. He's dragging that car to beyond. Lucas Weber P9 for Williams again. Mason Wood then in P10, so Williams with a cracking qualifying there. Lando Norris in 11th for Red Bull then, and Pierre Gasly in P12. Verlaine Rosberg 13th and 14th for Porsche. Good qualifying session for them. Carlos Sainz in P15 ahead of Max Verstappen in P16 for Jaguar. Bad qualifying session for Verstappen, a bad qualifying session for Jaguar. 17th for Hülkenberg. P18 for Daniel Ricciardo. Ocon down in P19 and ourselves down in P20. It's a very mixed up grid for this British Grand Prix. A lot of people out of position to where they normally are compared to where they are in terms of the race itself. But we're going to be doing a one-stop race. We're going to be starting on the mediums and then going to the softs. I feel like it should give us a better edge at the end of the race. Who knows? But we've got 5 red lights and we're starting last. So let's see what we can do then as the lights go out and away we go for the start of the British Grand Prix. It looks like a good start from George Russell on the front row of the grid, but Butler leads the group away then. As all of a sudden we can see ourselves right at the back there, and Russell does take the lead then ahead of Devon Butler as we now start to make our way through the field. We've got Ocon to deal with first and Daniel Ricciardo in the Renault behind then. So Russell leads ahead of Butler. Sam gets in front of Reece, who's in front of Hamilton. Then it's the Ferrari of Noah James. And as we go down the inside of both Jaguars, both Renaults, and the Carlos Sainz man in the Ford, as I said that completely wrong. So we've made up 5 places already off the start. Brilliant stuff for us there, because we've got Bottas in front, struggling in the Williams car as he's qualified a little bit too high probably for his liking compared to where he's got to. As we've got Leclerc there, bit of contact made between himself and Mason Wood. So Wood now goes towards the outside there, and Charles Leclerc holds the line though, and the Ferrari man is up ahead then, as we've got Russell still leading ahead of Butler. Now as we go on to the further end of the first lap then, Butler trying to pressurise his teammate Russell. Sam is pressurising Butler in the background as well. Russell now is trying to defend against Butler, but Butler goes down the inside in towards Stowe, and Butler makes a move stick on his teammates, and I think Russell will try and have a little look there, but I think George Russell has lost this fight unfortunately with his teammate Devon trying to make his way past as they go now round the last corner. It is now Devon Butler who leads the Grand Prix, but Sam there has been caught napping a little bit by George Russell's slow exit, and Reece goes down the inside of Sam, makes a little bit of contact there with George Russell, but he makes the move stick on Sam, and he's up into 3rd place now As we look a little bit further down, going all the way down the order to see where we are in all of this. And at the end of the first lap, we stay where we are. No moat progress made, but we're now going to go down the inside of Nico Rosberg into farm there and village, I think. So, yeah, a bit of an optimistic move there, but we make the move stick. And we're going to now just scroll back in front again as we have a look here as Reese now goes down the inside of George Russell in towards Brooklands. And he makes the move stick there on George. And that's a great move for him. Meanwhile, for us now, going towards Brooklands here, we're chasing onto the back of Pascal Wehrlein now. And Wehrlein with an engine failure, literally straight in front of us there, and that's Pascal Wehrlein's race over and done with in a flash there, and that nearly could have taken us out of the Grand Prix if we weren't careful or we were even closer to the back of him. But George Russell though seems to have some sort of a problem here because Sam now is all over the back of him. Russell going backwards in this Grand Prix as Devin Butler continues to lead out front. Russell now is trying to fend off Sam, but in towards the club chicane now, and they go on through, and it's going to be unfortunately not why did I say club chicane? It's the Vale chicane. I'm an idiot. I knew I shouldn't have named Silverstone circuits. But speaking of Silverstone circuits though, we've got Lewis Hamilton now who's going down the inside of George Russell, and he makes it stick. So Sam once again then getting caught out by trying to overtake George Russell. He lost out to Reese, then he lost out to Hamilton. And speaking of Reese and Butler, look at the lead that they've got out front, and Devin Butler is not going to give up this without a fight. So Butler has clearly got some race pace in that upgraded Audi. Reese meanwhile has not got the pace to defend against Devin Butler, and he loses out. While in the background there, Sam has managed to make his way past Hamilton and also Devin Butler and all of that, and sorry, George Russell, but Russell is still going backwards in this race. For us though, we're still not making that much progress. There we are. In fact, we're now into 13th place here, and yeah, this is lap 4 now of the Grand Prix, but we've got a nice queue of cars, and normally with the queue of cars, you tend to see them break a bit earlier, and that's exactly what they do. We go at the inside of Gasly and also Lando Norris there, but we bide our time against Lucas Weber and try and wait for another opportunity to come around. But we're now up into 11th place and one position shy of getting back into the top 10 and claiming some points in this race. But of course, we are on the slower compound tyre, so we're just trying to make it stick. There's a big lockup from George Russell, and he's all the way down in P10, literally with us now in this Grand Prix. So Russell's race has gone from bad to worse in literally a heartbeat there. You can see on the minimap that Reese and Devin Butler are going towards Copse Corner. I've just exited Copse now, whereas for Russell, he's literally right with us, as now you can see Norris tried to go around the down the inside of us in towards Copse, but we hold it around the outside here, and now we've got to turn up our engine modes because we're clearly under some pressure here from the Red Bull, and through towards Magnus and Beckers. We close the door off quite heavily there against Lando Norris, but I needed to maintain position against the Red Bull driver because he's still in a very fast and competitive car as we open up the DRS now, and now we're going to use it into overtake mode, and we've got a great run here on George Russell, clearly not using as much engine modes as Weber makes his way past Bottas. We'll go past Bottas as well in towards Stowe Corner. A double overtake there for us now as we've got Weber in front, and we might just be able to get in front of him. Warning for track extension there as we now lunge it down the inside and towards the Vale chicane. Bit of contact made there between myself and Weber. It was a pretty aggressive manoeuvre, but we make it stick nonetheless as Leclerc now sets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. But on to lap 5 of the Grand Prix now. We're up into 8th place, and we're making some great progress now in this Grand Prix. It's further behind just after our overtake there. Weber is under pressure from his teammate Bottas. It's 3 wide going in towards the first corner, and look at them all fly through. Lando Norris there making a double overtake on both Williams cars and making it stick as there's a lock up there from Lucas Weber as Bottas tries to fend him off now in towards turn 2 they go, and he's just about made it stick. But again, look, George Russell has now lost out to both these Williams cars as well. So no, he was never behind them in the first place. He was behind them in the first place, but still, you can just see how much he's really struggling. He clearly has some kind of problem, but look at them all in the background here, just scrapping away for position. Gasly now passes Valtteri Bottas and also George Russell and all this. If he could just hold it around the outside, not quite though. I think Russell is just going to try and fend this one off here from what was a front row start for George Russell. We're on lap 5 of the Grand Prix here, and he's all the way down with the back of the field. This is absolutely incredible. You can see there, the 2 Renaults are currently running at the back of the field, and he's right with them now as they go towards Magnus and Beckett now. This will be brave from George Russell if he can fly his way through, and that's exactly what he does. A little bit of contact made between himself there as we now move further up the frontier between Noah James and Lewis Hamilton. Hamilton in towards Stowe Corner, defending against Noah for all his might, but Noah is going to get the position, and he's taking the Lewis Hamilton for, I believe that is 4th place, as we speed up a little bit further forwards here to Reese now, who goes past Devin Butler for the lead of the British Grand Prix, and still Devin Butler is not backing down from this pairing. So this is great to see here as we now go back on board here with Lewis Hamilton, who goes through in in towards Cops corner, down the inside of Noah James, and he makes that move stick in his favour, and he's back up into 4th place. But Hamilton has got the 2 Ferraris close for comfort as we watch on board with Reese and Devon Butler for the battle for the lead of the British Grand Prix, and Sam is catching this pair all the while as Hamilton is fending off both the Ferraris, and Mason Wood there is just behind. So if he can try and get a little bit more performance, he might just be able to catch him here, as we've got Leclerc now having a look at Noah in towards the Stowe corner. Let's see if Leclerc can now make his way through. No team orders here from Ferrari on this occasion as they go in towards the Vale chicane. Now let's see if Leclerc can make that move stick. It doesn't look like it, but I think he might just be given some space here to have a run with it. But I think Noah looks like he's covered that position off quite nicely. No, he hasn't. Leclerc takes the position then away. That's brilliant stuff there from then as we go back to the race lead now. And Butler once again has taken the lead away from Reese in this Grand Prix. And Reese is going to have to go and fight for it again now. I'm pretty sure he would have thought that Audi with their upgrades were only going to be quick in qualifying. That's what we saw from the race news. But it looks like Audi have got some race pace as well then. So Butler now gets passed by Reese. And again, Reese takes the lead of the Grand Prix as Sam now has got Lewis Hamilton all behind him. As a 3-wide moment here between Wood, Leclerc and Noah James there. They're all fighting for position. And we are just behind this scrap here. So as they go towards the Vale chicane, that's us there in the background. So we're really closing up now. And actually making some great progress in this race now. As Butler here has got the run on Reese in towards the first corner. Butler goes down the inside in towards Abbey there. And he's up into the lead of the Grand Prix once again as Hamilton is doing everything he can to catch and pass Sam. As now we've got Woods and James going at it now, tooth and nail here. The 2 men from the US going at it here at Silverstone as they go in towards the Vale chicane. Nothing to separate them. The Ferrari looks like he's got a little bit more straight line speed and he'll hold on to the position there. As you can see now, we've got Wood trying to hold off against Noah, and he does so. Great stuff there from Mason Wood. But now Noah James here should have the slipstream here to go for it in towards Abbey. He'll have a little bit more straight line speed, you would imagine, as well in his Ferrari car, and he has just about got ahead there and repasses him now as we're back on board with the front of the field. Then Reese now goes down the inside into Cobb's corner on Devon Butler, and Sam and Hamilton now have caught up to the train, so it's a 4-way fight. Sam tries to have a look there into Maggotts and Beckett's on Butler, but it doesn't work on that occasion for him. Reese then leads the Grand Prix. Devon Butler is in second, Sam is in third, and then we've got Hamilton up into 4th then in this Grand Prix. Sam now might just have a look at Butler. Butler might have a look at Reese, and then Hamilton might have a look at all of them here as they go in towards Stowe corner now. Let's see who can come out on top here. Butler has a look at Reese in towards Stowe, but Sam though has got a great run here versus Devon Butler as they go now in towards the Vale chicane. He might just be able to break later. He does so. He breaks a little bit later than the Audi car. As they go on through, we have to focus away from them because now we've got Mason Wood here trying to challenge him. We try and challenge on Noah James ourselves there, but it doesn't work for us on that occasion. Going back up to the front here now, and Hamilton makes his way past Sam. So Sam there losing another place to Lewis Hamilton, again trying to attack an Audi car. I think Sam has pretty much been fed up now with these Audis because they're costing him position after position. But Sam though, on this occasion, he's not going to let Lewis Hamilton just get away with a cheap overtake like he's done all race long. He'll fight for it, and he makes it stick in his favour now with the DRS here. But Butler now can pull away from Sam and Hamilton and go back after Reese then as they go in towards Brooklands now, and Sam is going to hold on to the position. Hamilton can't make it stick on that occasion, and we've now crucially got DRS here on the Ferrari, so that's going to be critical for us. But for George Russell, unfortunately, going back to him now and Ocon here, it's still going horribly wrong. Something definitely is not functioning properly on that Audi car. Unfortunately, he's currently at a disadvantage because Ocon makes his way through in the Renault car. And of course, Ocon started 19th and didn't exactly make any progress up the field. But Russell does have DRS though, so he might be able to just try and get this position back and at least give some praise to the home fans that have come to support him. And as he goes down the inside of the Stowe, he makes his stick in his favour, and now he rejoined the fight here between Devon Butler, Lewis Hamilton, Sam, and also Reese. Now Reese has pulled away a little bit here from the front of this scrap, so he's clearly managed to shake off Devon Butler, but Butler is not shaking off Hamilton because Butler comes back at Hamilton around the outside into Brooklands, and these guys have all now made their first stop for the medium compound tyres. So they've all come in now off of their soft tyres and onto the mediums. Of course, we are still on our medium tyres because we're going that much longer in this Grand Prix, but Reese then is now pulling away as Hamilton is trying to fight side by side with Devon Butler in towards Cops corner. I think Butler might just have this one. A little bit of contact made there between the two of them. Sam, though, frustratingly, just has to sit in behind and just watch the scrap unfold. He can't really do anything there. He'll go side by side, though, in towards Maggotts and Beckett's with Lewis Hamilton. This will be a great move if he can pull it off as they go through now. And I think he's just about pulled it off in his own favour. Not quite. Side by side on the exit. Both got DRS. Butler's going to be absolutely terrified here because he's got two drivers with max engine mode both really going for this one here. In towards Stowe corner, Sam has a look at the inside of Devon Butler and towards Stowe corner, but he can't make it stick. And now we go on to lap 14 here, and Sam goes around the outside of Devon Butler in towards Brooklands there, and Sam manages to stay in front, and now he's past Devon Butler. Question is, can he shake off Devon Butler and get after Reese? That's going to be the crucial thing in this Grand Prix. Butler has got the DRS there to attack Sam, but Hamilton here has got the DRS to attack Devon Butler going in towards Stowe corner. They're going to go side by side in towards Stowe, and Hamilton here and Butler will have to scrap it out towards the Vale chicane, as Sam now is going to use this opportunity, hopefully for his sake, to pull away. Butler, will he break later than Hamilton in towards the Vale chicane? No, he doesn't, and that is not going to work out for Sam. Lap 15 of the Grand Prix, and now it is a fight for between third and fourth between Sam and Hamilton. Of course, we are leading the British Grand Prix. Just to keep you in tabs of what we're up to, we're currently in the lead of the race at the moment as everyone else has stopped. So we currently have the race lead. Reese is in second, Sam is in third, and Hamilton is in fourth. Or should I say Hamilton is in third and Sam is in fourth, because that's the overtake done for him. So we've got the Ferraris now trying to close in on this. We've got Charles Leclerc with the DRS now on Sam, and Butler is still fighting hard in there as Sam now goes down the inside of Lewis Hamilton, and there's a bit of contact there between Leclerc and Hamilton. So Leclerc fancied to run down the inside of Hamilton. Hamilton didn't see him come in there, and luckily no damage actually for any of those drivers. But I think Lewis Hamilton is about to lose P4 in this race, and Leclerc now is going to go down the inside here, and he forces Hamilton to go a little bit wide, and now Devon Butler can have a look at the inside of Abbey into Lewis Hamilton, and he does it, and he goes for it, and he gets it done. So great overtake there for Devon Butler, up into 6th place now, I believe, in this Grand Prix. Speaking of us, here we are then at the lead of the Grand Prix. We've actually got quite a sizable advantage here. You can see Reese is currently going through Maggots and Beckett. We are coming into the pits now for our one and only stop. And of course, this is for the soft tyres now. So we went a different way with strategy, which may have benefited us, may have hindered us. But at the end of the day, I thought to myself that, look, the medium tyres at the start of the stint is going to be a lot slower. But when we come out on track, when we have clean air, which we do have, the other drivers are going to be scrapping really, really hard. So I thought to myself, maybe it might just get me in front of them, and then I can try and make a pursuit for the rest of the drivers. But anyway, we're coming in now. Soft tyres go on, and we're out of the pit lane. Very nice pit stop there from the boys, and now we can try and press onwards in this Grand Prix. And let's see where we rejoin and see if we're going to get any action in this Grand Prix. We had a little bit at the start of the Grand Prix, but really, it's been an absolutely sensational fight with all the other drivers now. So we pop out of the pits there, and who's that behind us? That's one of the Red Bulls there behind us. So I believe we were behind them. It's Mason Wood then. So here we are now. That's Lewis Hamilton. That's Charles Leclerc, Noah James, and Devon Butler. So all in all, we've actually done a great job here of getting closer to this group of cars now. Reese still leads this Grand Prix. We've set the fastest middle sector of the race so far. We are absolutely flying now as Devon Butler is the man in our sights. We go now in towards Stoke corner here. Leclerc is on the back of Hamilton. James on the back of Leclerc. Butler is on the back of James, and we're now on the back of Butler here. We're now going to go for it down inside of the Vale chicane on Devon Butler, and we make our first overtake then of this new stint on these soft tyres, and now we're up into 6th place. Noah James is in 5th. We set the fastest lap of the race so far on a 1:26.9. That is about 0.3 of a second faster than what Noah just did on that lap, who set the fastest lap. So it's a great bit of pace that we've got now, and we really need to clear this traffic and try and get rid of them quickly. As Leclerc now goes for it down the inside on Lewis Hamilton here for what is going to be 3rd place. This is the fight for a podium spot here. So who would have thought, after starting last at this British Grand Prix, we're currently now in the midst of a scrap for a podium place on much newer and much softer tyre compounds than these guys. So we've really got the advantage here as Leclerc now tries to go for it on Lewis Hamilton. We, meanwhile, are just being very, very patient here as we have a look at Noah James there in towards the Vale chicane. I decided against it on that term, as I wanted to try and wait for this section here, because out of club corner they're going to go a little bit slower, and that's exactly what they do. Now we can try and take advantage, and we're going to do just that. We've got the DRS. Noah James stays behind. We're going to go for the double overtake here, and I've been monitoring how other drivers have been making their overtakes, and we do just that to make a double overtake on Hamilton and Noah James, as Mason Wood has got past Devon Butler and all of that as well. So Butler dropping backwards now in this second stint of the Grand Prix. He's lost track now of Reese and Sam. As we go through towards the Wellington Straight here, we've now got a great run here on Charles Leclerc. We go towards the outside line here, and we breeze past Charles Leclerc into 3rd place of the British Grand Prix, and we go through in towards Brooklands, and that is us up into 3rd. Sam is in 2nd. Reese leading the field away. Lap 20 of the Grand Prix now, and we go in towards Stoke corner here. We've got a yellow flag on the Hangar Straight here, so someone's had an issue behind it. No, it's in front of us. It's not on the Hangar Straight. That's the race leader, Rees, he was leading so easily out front, but he's out of the British Grand Prix. That is an absolute heartbreak there for my cousin, who was literally leading for so long, but some form of mechanical problem has come and hit him at the worst possible time. Just 6 laps to go until the end of the Grand Prix, and he is now retired from the British Grand Prix. That is absolutely heartbreaking for Rees, who was doing such a good job in this race. And after starting last, we are now into 2nd place in this Grand Prix, and it is currently a 1-2 for McLaren, but that might not be the case, because even though that I've got the softer tyres on, the power of the DRS around Silverstone and all of the high-speed straights is really helping the McLaren's, not the McLaren's, it's helping the Mercedes cars get closer to me. So I'm now trying to break DRS. If I can break DRS, I know that I can pull away here, but I've got to struggle now with ERS and fuel to work with. As Hamilton now wants to get on the Wellington straight in towards Brooklands, has a look down the inside, but we don't let him go anywhere near us. Gap between myself and Sam, 4.5 seconds. Honestly, if I wasn't in this scrap, I might be able to have a chance of attacking Sam, but I can't do that when I've got Hamilton just literally all over the back of me here. And look at how much ERS I've got, literally nothing, as I'm trying everything I can to hold off against Hamilton. Hamilton goes down the inside in towards Stowe Corner, but we've got the inside line. He has to go around the outside. It's not going to work for him. Now I'm towards the Vale chicane here. I've got no way that I can save any fuel, save any ERS, because there's no places I can do it without sacrificing track position. And it might be better to sacrifice track position, but the problem is we've only got 3 laps left of this Grand Prix now, so if I'm going to do anything, I just have to just defend and hope that Hamilton goes for an overtake in a crazy place. He tries it in towards Abbey, but we just carry the speed through there, and unfortunately for Hamilton, he's not going to get past there. Lap 26 of the Grand Prix, though, we finally broke the DRS from Lewis Hamilton, and now as we can try, literally just relax and just bring the car home now. We go through in towards Stowe Corner. It's been an absolutely sensational British Grand Prix. There have been scraps absolutely everywhere, but the man that's going to come out on top, it's going to be Sam to take back-to-back race victories here today. As we now cross the start-finish line, we take a fantastic 2nd place in this Grand Prix after what was a hard-fought 2nd place there, starting last on the grid. What would have happened if we actually managed to qualify? Who knows? But at the end of the day, we got the job done for us, and that is a brilliant race. As we have a look at it now then, so Sam wins the British Grand Prix for McLaren, and it's a 1-2 finish for us today, with us recovering from last on the grid to finish in P2. Lewis Hamilton just about claimed the final podium position from Noah James and Charles Leclerc and Mason Wood, and you could even say Devon Butler to an extent there. Those lot were all really close together. So yeah, Hamilton finished in 3rd ahead of Noah James and Charles Leclerc. Mason Wood in 6th. Devon Butler will be really disappointed with P7. He started on pole, but what is kind of encouraging for Audi is that they really did mix it in with the front runners today. Then we've got Lando Norris, who finished in P8 for Red Bull, 18 seconds off the lead. Max Verstappen had a great race himself. I believe he was down in 16th or 17th, and he recovered to get into the points. So again, a great recovery drive from him today. And Valtteri Bottas, again, putting in a stellar performance for Williams to claim another point for them today. Charles Leclerc ended up setting the fastest lap of the race on a 1 minute 26.848, so he claims the fastest lap bonus point, which means that he claims 11 points rather than 10. Now as we have a look at the second half of the table, Nico Hülkenberg finished in P11, so again a good recovery drive from Hülkenberg after starting down in P18. Ocon was started in P19 for Renault, and he managed to recover up to P12. A bad day in the office for George Russell, down in P13 after a front row start. Hopefully in the post-race notebook we can find out if anything was wrong with the car. Pierre Gasly for Ford finishes in P14 ahead of Nico Rosberg in the Porsche. Lucas Weber in P16 ahead of Carlos Sainz then in the Ford. Daniel Ricciardo in P18, which wasn't a great race for him, unfortunately. Rees will be absolutely distraught to finish in P19 and DNF for him, and Pascal Verlaine, of course, was the other man to retire, which we saw as his engine blew up in front of us. Having a look then at the Drivers' Championship after this race then, as you can see, we are now top of the table as still with 175 points, with Sam in second place in the table with 149 points. That does mean that Sam has now closed that gap once again, the gap down to 26 points now at the top of the championship between myself and Sam. Rees third in the championship on 123 points, with Lewis Hamilton up, still in fourth in the championship. He's now gone past the 100-point barrier. He's on 109 points. Noah James is 5th in the championship on 81 points, with Mason Wood now on 67 points for Red Bull. Both the two US rookies really proving their worth in the sport. Charles Leclerc 7th in the championship for Ferrari on 66 points. Then we've got Lando Norris in P8 for Red Bull on 53. George Russell maintains P9 in the championship with 47 points, and Max Verstappen is now on 31 points and is 10th in the championship. Our next event is going to be the French Grand Prix. Now looking over into the Constructors' Championship, McLaren build a big advantage over Mercedes-Benz. We're now on 324 points with Mercedes on 232. Of course, with Reese DNFing today and McLaren picking up a 1-2 finish and Hamilton only finishing in 3rd, McLaren managed to extend their advantage by quite some distance. Ferrari are 3rd in the championship on 146 points, but are still not clear of Red Bull, who are on 120 points and are still hunting them down. Audi are on 78 points. They really could have done so much today with that front row lockout, but clearly their race pace just wasn't to be. Renault is on 51 points. Jaguar move up to 40 points with Ford on 12 points. Porsche on 10, and Williams, again, slowly but surely, are creeping up there. Now they're on 6 points, so that's another points finish coming in for them today. Who knows? They might just get something out of this championship. But with that all being said and done, we're going to go and have a look at the post-race notebook and see what the teams and drivers had to say after this British Grand Prix. We're starting things off with McLaren, and they have hailed the performances of both of their drivers, showcasing their true talents. Of course, Sam started from 4th on the grid, but he battled hard against his rivals to claim a P1 finish, which he said was a lucky P1 finish. With Reese, he said that should have won that Grand Prix, but unfortunately, it just wasn't meant to be. Tom, meanwhile, said that he overall thought that the strategy was actually the wrong call. He thinks that he actually should have done soft to medium, and it probably would have benefited him more, but he is still ecstatic to be able to have finished in P2. He said that he was very, very heartbroken for Reese to DNF from the Grand Prix after dominating for so long, but for him to claim a podium after his qualifying session was a major confidence boost after a crash in the last race in Germany and a crash again here in qualifying. Speaking of Reese, he said that he is absolutely heartbroken to have retired from the lead of his home Grand Prix. On lap 20, we saw Reese's car come to a standstill, what we can now confirm was a hydraulic problem, which left him to park up at the fail chicane and unfortunately have to walk back to the garage. Audi admit that their race pace was poor, as we now confirm that George Russell suffered a power unit problem from the first lap. So George Russell's drop down the order was due to him having a massive deficit in terms of the power. Audi, however, did give a massive amount of praise to Devon Butler, who managed to exceed their expectations. He was right in there with the fight with Reese, Sam and Hamilton throughout the entirety of the first stint, and it was only in the middle stint on the medium tyres did the pace not work for Audi and that he dropped down the order. Ferrari slowly believe that they are getting back on track with their performances. We've seen Ferrari have some very wretched performances this season, but over the past few races they've really started to step up. They believe in qualifying they've still got work to do, but in the race they really show that they've got a lot of pace and they can work with it. But with that being said and done, that is everything for today's episode of the F1 Journey. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. If you have, feel free to drop the video a like and subscribe to this channel if you're new around here for some more Formula 1 content and F1 Journey videos. And of course, next episode we've got the French Grand Prix, which should be a very interesting one for us, with a lot of straight line speed, which should benefit Mercedes in all. But with that being said and done, I will see you guys next time. So thank you very much for watching. Take care all. Peace.